Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our wonderful podcast, the Random Podcast of Awesomeness.
Law. Wonderful. I laughed at.
Yay!
So another week and another episode of this shit. Welcome everyone.
And this is Shadow Wolf.
This is Roy Burger 163.
I'm Scrubnick.
I'm
This
Cloud.
is Awkward Silence. And I'm Cadet 14. Hey guys.
Like hell you are.
That's everyone. Okay.
Oh, we
So
also have a special
this
guest.
week, this week we have the special guest of Motley Crue.
Yes.
So this week we played through the game Wario Land 4 for the Game Boy Advance.
Yes, we did. And we all had varying degrees of enjoyment of the game. And I think we should discuss that now.
Would
That's the
anyone,
plan at least.
would anyone like to go through pretty much the story of the game?
The story is that Mr. Wario is opening up a newspaper, and he sees a new pyramid, and being the greedy SOB he is, he's like, okay, I'm gonna go over there and go fuck shit up and steal everything. And that is basically what occurs. And that's pretty much the entire story, it seems.
You're forgetting about the important side character of the Black Cat.
Oh, did I now?
Yes.
Could you guys
Yes,
just
you
tell us
did.
about this black cat?
The Black Cat that follows Wario around through stage to stage and during the boss fights.
So what does this black cat do?
Absolutely nothing.
He's not
That's-
that significant. He's just there.
Yep.
So basically, Gerda's making a terrible point.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Okay, that's cool.
So let's talk about the gameplay of the game.
The gameplay of the game, and this is kind of where it gets interesting. Wario has a number of attacks that he can deploy. One
Really?
is his he has attacks and they do things, and these things usually involve enemy characters being hurt. One of them is the shoulder bash, where he just charges left to right and or up. You get up on the D-pad or your keyboard if you're that kind of asshole.
Yeah,
Who uses
cool
Good
like
ass.
that.
Yeah,
I still support emulation.
that's why we're getting rid of you soon.
Anyway,
Yes. Anyway, the shoulder bash for one. There's also the kind of like a dash where he will just
like a rush
it's like a
attack, yeah.
rush attack. Yeah, which is supposed to break the blue colored blocks.
Uh-huh.
And other attacks is you can also grab enemies and toss them or supercharge toss them, which also comes into play in some of the puzzles, but that comes later.
He can also do a ground pound.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, sound familiar? Sounds familiar, one?
Yeah, Wario pretty much controls and acts as Mario, except with a few attacks added to his repertoire. One of the attacks that Brooke didn't actually mention is his alternate movement method of rolling into a ball and barreling through things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Usually that occurs in slopes.
Yes, by pressing
But-
down while on a slope, Wario will curl into a ball and barrel through level 1 blocks in most types of enemies.
But what cannot be stressed enough is that he might control like Mario in ways, but like the actual design of the levels, like the actual level design in the game, like it really makes this game its own product, very unique.
Yeah,
Like that's
it
where it
acts
really-
like a Mario clone, but it in no way looks like a Mario clone.
And it doesn't
Yeah.
really feel like a Mario clone either.
it doesn't. I mean, that's the thing about it. Like when I first played this game, I was kind of surprised that I'm like, oh, they didn't just phone it in. This actually has some thought behind it. 'Cause, you know,
Also,
when I
just
think-
be practice. Fuck
Practice.
practice.
Well, so yeah, when I think of Wario, I think of, oh look, it's Mario with a different colored hat
And suspenders.
and suspenders and kind of burly.
But
Well,
besides
Mario,
the fact,
uh,
but you find out that Wario's game is quite different from a Mario game.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Whereas Mario usually goes around collecting dragon coins that do absolutely nothing in his
He
Mario
jumps on-
World games.
Jumps on people's heads.
Yes. Well, Wario can do that too. It just
Yeah.
doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Wario, because he's attempting to get access to the Golden Pyramid, must actually find these pieces of gemstones that are littered throughout the levels in order to complete a complete gemstone, usually a sapphire, ruby, topaz, or emerald, in order to actually end the level and move on to the next one. Also, throughout the level, you will have to find yourself these spirits that are holding keys that unlock the next door.
Also,
By-
little fragments.
Yes. By collecting all 4 of the gem fragments and completing a complete gem in all 4 of the levels prior to the boss, you will unlock the boss door, allowing you to fight the bosses.
You unlock the
Huzzah.
you unlock like an item.
Yes. Also, at the end of each level, you're given score. Score determines how much money that you are at the end are earned or had at the end of the level. You can use the score in order to play mini games in the minigame shop. And if you're good enough at these mini games, you are awarded with coins, and you can use the coins in order to go into the minigame shop in order to buy weapons that actually decrease the boss's health by a small portion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Depending on which of the weapons you actually buy. I found myself actually totally ignoring these weapons, although one of the bosses I'm probably going to have to, use one of the bigger weapons on in order to get all the treasure chests for.
The reason Garrett ignores these things is because Garrett's so good at the game that he doesn't need them.
No, actually, I'm pretty bad at this game, but I did manage to beat it before pretty much anybody else.
Congrats, Garrett. Congrats. Do you feel
Congrats.
better about yourself?
You accomplished something.
You're a compy.
Shut up.
Anyway,
A compy.
A compy. I wish I could have compy.
so I kind of feel like talking about the music. What do you guys think about the music in this game?
I think it's for bitches.
It's random like everything else in this game.
Well, see, that's the thing about it, though. Like, it seems random, but when you really think about it, like, the everything is really well thought out. Like, really. I mean, everything seems very random, like all the placement, but, like, there's, on all the levels, if you hit a certain block, you might not be able to get an item in that level because you need to climb over that block to be able to reach a certain area to get a unlockable or something like that, like a piece of soundtrack.
Yes, there are
Or-
CDs in this game that you collect.
Yes, and the
Yes.
CDs give you each of the songs that play throughout the game.
Yeah,
They're
But-
mini collectibles. You can pass them if you want to. I know I did. I got 4 out of 16 though.
Yeah, I got like three or so.
I got 2.
I played this game a long
music.
time ago, so I actually completed the whole soundtrack.
How is it?
It's not bad.
Unfortunately for me, I had the sound muted and I was listening to my dubstep, so I couldn't hear what the music sounded like.
The music is most definitely themic. You'll have a somewhat jungle theme when you're in the jungle level. You'll have a desert theme while you're in the desert levels. It's definitely
Egyptian
themic, but it
theme-ish.
works well.
Yeah.
And it's not like a game music where it's like 16-bit music or something like that. It's actually like an MP3 music.
It is decent quality. The thing that I found somewhat disturbing though is of the 4 songs that I unlocked, all 4 of them have sound titles that are direct parodies of other songs, and I'm not entirely sure why.
That is actually supposed to be because they're supposed to be parodying other songs.
I know that they're supposed to, but I'm not entirely sure what the correlation is. If they're supposed to be mirrors of those songs or not.
I'm not too sure on that. We'll have to look up on that.
Yes, we have to do research. Because
Us actually doing something.
Yeah,
cool.
because research is not done before this podcast. This podcast is done by the seam of our pants.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yes.
This is not rehearsed, people.
No.
As
We
you
don't
can
have
very
script.
well tell.
Yeah.
We do not have a script. We do not have pencils, and we do not
And
have glasses
frankly-
that allow us to hold pencils.
Frankly, the reviewers, we don't get money off this shit. So quit your bitching.
And even if we did, we would not be rehearsing.
Quit your bitching. You're getting this shit for free. You're getting free shit.
Yeah, you're getting high
Literally.
quality entertainment for free.
You're getting shit for free.
I want to thank Sop for listening. That's,
Yes, thank you,
Southpaw, we
Southpaw.
still love you.
You are our number one
We would
fan.
tap that.
You
Yeah,
are our number one fan because
we would tap that.
you are literally our number one and only fan. Thank you. Thank you, Southpaw.
but yeah, I thoroughly enjoy the music for this game, to be honest.
Is it as cool? Is it as good as the music in Out of This World that was directed by John Williams?
Probably,
Yes.
probably better.
Mandatory John Williams reference.
John Williams meme.
We know John. Yeah, that is an ongoing show meme.
Anyway, next on our agenda. Not that we have
Next on
one.
agenda, I think will be my favorite part is level design.
Now, even though that I said that these levels are themic, that does not mean that these gimmicks have actually been used, to death. There are several different level gimmicks and themes in here that are actually quite refreshing and unique, at least to
It
me.
is.
They
I
are.
really love level design in this game. I think it has really, really good level design. One of the things about the levels is like in this game, there are many areas in certain in levels where you cannot progress further unless you get the aid of the enemies in the game.
Right.
Like for instance, in a toxic sludge level, there's a certain part where there are a bunch of destructible blocks above your head, and you need to get up there so you can reach, I think, a key. And what happens is there are enemies there that are like springboard enemies. You have to get hit by them, turning you into a springboard so you can springboard your way up to the top.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I saw those guys. Those are weird.
They're pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yes. Another thing that vastly makes this different from Mario is the fact that killing every enemy on the screen will probably lock you in a room.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
you have to go outside the room and come back in so everything refreshes.
Yeah, the level design is good enough to where you can actually do that most of the time. But in order to progress a good portion of the time, you need to interact with the enemies, and you usually end up needing to take a specific hit or getting a certain power-up from them.
Mm-hmm.
Like a very common recurring power-up is the fat Wario, as if he wasn't fat enough.
Yeah, yeah.
Where the gorillas will throw an apple at you. You'll literally double and slash and become almost immobile.
That's
But
ironic.
your
Eat an
normal
apple.
jump is officially a super ground pound.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about it. Mario isn't. He's not a beast. He's like borderline a beast, but that power up makes him hits him puts him over the edge. But yeah, the abilities like that are used. Like another one is where you are touched by a zombie, you become a zombie, and in certain parts you will go through the floor and go below you. Things like that, and the fat, the zombie, the fat one, the springboard, and things like that. The levels employ. But the thing I've noticed, like with the game, was when I first started playing, like it feels kind of overwhelming just because there's like so many different areas you can go in any given level that a lot of it is just just power ups or getting more coins or grabbing like fragments of the jewel. But it literally feels like you can. It feels like you can. There's like more than one path to go through a level. I'm not sure if that's the case, but that's how it feels.
It feels that way sometimes, but I promise you there isn't. The level design is good, but it still is definitely linear.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but there are like this probably is the case where there might be like one or two paths that it's one path that's quicker that you can take, especially because the thing about these levels is Wario will go through the levels and until he finds the key, and then after he finds the key, he has to hit this blue. I don't know what the hell that thing is.
He has to hit the level nuke button.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
level button, which gives you a 3-minute timer where you have 3 minutes.
Depends on the level.
It varies.
Yeah, okay. Well, you have a timer, and depending on the timer, you have that much amount of time to go all the way back with your key and jump back through the portal, because the whole point of it is you're trying to go to the levels to find the key to unlock the door to the next stage
hmm
for the bosses. But, yeah, and that's probably my favorite part, is just because it gets very hectic, and it kind of reminds me a little bit like in the last stage of Kirby Superstar, where you are assaulting Meta Knights.
That's not the last stage. Revenge of Meta Knight's the second to last stage. Well, third to last if you count the arena.
I'm talking about like the whole part, like that Since it has different stories.
Yeah.
That story.
The last section of Revenge of Mennonite, sure.
Yeah, the last section of Battleship part, because that entire story is very fast paced, and on that stage you have a lot of timers because you have to do stuff in a certain amount of time, and the music gets very hectic, and it just feels very very cool.
You could actually compare it to Metroid, where when the stage is about to blow up and you have to get back to your ship.
Yes,
That's what everyone else wants us to compare it to, at least.
Metroid.
Oh, look, and the end of the game explosion timer.
Pretty much.
But yeah, but it's not. Just to clarify, it's not Metroidvania at all.
No, not at all.
No.
It's basically it's just
It's really linear, kind of.
yeah.
It's
Just
pretty
levels.
much.
You
Yeah.
have
It was ridiculously linear.
you have levels.
And a lot of the levels are really guilty. Or a lot of the levels feel really guilty after several different playthroughs of it.
Yeah, but like
Guilty.
the whole,
Yeah,
they feel guilty. Like the levels themselves feel.
Objection!
Well, here's the thing. I'm not sure if Bork and Corb have actually been here yet, but in the Topaz passage, there is a pinball gimmick level, and I hate this level. I do, because it was glaringly obvious to what I should do, but I couldn't do it because I couldn't figure out what was so glaringly obvious about it.
Which level is that? The paintball level?
Yeah, there's a pinball level in the Topaz passage.
It's very
Whoa!
fun.
Yeah, I had a problem. Is that the one where you're supposed to grab the bombs and throw it into those holes?
That gimmick I got instantly because I was like, okay, yeah, it's just
Yeah, that's a level though. That's a level though, right?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
I didn't like that level either. It was.
The thing is, I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to get the first gem piece, and then I went back through it twice, and I still couldn't figure it out. So I just finally said, well, if I can't access there from above, I guess I have to access it from this room. So I shoulder charged the wall and then started face palming when it works.
That's one thing I will say. Like, especially around the beginning of the game, especially when you the very first few parts where you have to run back, with the timer, it feels like if you have no direction whatsoever which way you're supposed to be going. And it's like that with a lot of the levels, like where it's like certain stuff you should be doing, but you have like no hint at any point that is the way you do it.
And a lot of
Now,
times...
the only level that I had an issue with the timer in was the hotel level, and I think the Sapphire Passage, because the hotel level is freaking huge, and they give you a decently long timer for it, which I thank them for. But backtracking all the way back was so confusing for me. I
agree with
got
you on
lost like 3 different
Yeah.
times trying to exit that thing.
I had a problem with like first day, which is with that stupid ghost that kept stealing my key.
The ghost that steals your key can be knocked off just re-grabbing your ghost, so...
Well, yeah, but it was annoying because
It's definitely annoying, and it slows the level down. But
yeah,
I had no problem with it.
I'm terrible though.
As
That's one thing.
as long as you move fast enough, you're pretty much okay.
Well, even when you can move fast enough, when you slow down, there's enough time for him to catch up and grab it again. 'Cause he's a troll.
right,
Troll.
I noticed that we haven't actually talked about majority of Wario's powers in here, like the enemy powers.
Yes, we should talk about those a little.
All right, we mentioned the fat power up where you get an apple from the gorilla and you become almost immobile, but you have super ground pound. That one appears a lot and is really cool. One of my favorite ones, and the one that Burke really hates at the moment, is the zombie power up.
I don't
There are certain environmental hazards in this game that will cover Wario in goo and literally change his palette into a freaking zombie. He becomes mostly immobile, can still jump, but he is literally invincible during this time.
But you can't really do anything.
So you can kill the guy that keeps turning you into a zombie just by walking into him.
Yeah, but you probably shouldn't, because if that zombie's there, he's there for a reason usually.
Yeah, the zombie is there to actually slow down that part of the level. I remember it because in order to get out of zombie form in that level, you have to walk into the lights. The problem is jumping while in the zombie form will actually send you back down to the bottom floor, and if you don't hit a light on your way down, you have to crawl over to the nearby one, and that takes a good 10 seconds.
Right.
Yeah, that's the annoying part about the zombie sections is that it's just very slow and tedious.
I also like to say
like
that
this
some of the
podcast.
bosses are challenging.
Well, there's a few other power-ups we gotta go through yet, Corp.
Oh.
For example, Berg mentioned the springboard power-up. What Wario has to do, and this actually comes back into play during the final boss fight. Spoilers.
Fight.
But you turn pretty much into a slinky spring, and by pressing the jump button, you'll do a super jump, which will charge you through level 1 breakable blocks, and knock out most of the enemies in your way. It's really powerful, but in order to get it, you have to get hit on the head with a hammer.
It's super effective.
Yes, it's very much super effective. There are a few other cool ones too, like the inflated Wario. If he gets stung by a bee or any sort of needle, he will literally inflate himself.
Like a bubble.
And yeah, he'll pretty much turn into a giant bubble, and he'll float throughout the screen, and it's your job to navigate him in these sections to progress through the level.
And if you get hit on the head while you're doing so, you'll turn back and you have to do it again.
Yes. Also, one thing I want to mention is that it seems that Wario has like a huge problem with child support, because there are enemies in the game that are literally little mini Wario's driving around in cars, which I assume are his children that have been dropped off in this pyramid.
Burke, the ones driving around those cars is in the toy factory.
Yeah. Yeah, well, actually,
they're toys.
They're in a lot of levels, not just the toy.
No, they're in the toy factory.
Yeah, but no, they're in other levels though.
I haven't really noticed them.
I'll be back, guys. I'll be back.
But I haven't really noticed the mini Warriors. But there is, as a lot of players will be familiar with, Mario is in fact allergic to being crushed. He gets crushed regardless of what power level he is. He dies instantly.
Whereas Wario, you can float around like a piece of paper.
Yeah,
it's
Wario
awesome.
turns into his hat when he gets crushed, and he floats around. And your job is to get him to a reformator, as what I'm dubbing it as, which are located throughout the level.
Another one of my favorite powers is the fire power, where Wario walks into a fire enemy, and he can break through certain objects.
Those sections require, like the sections where you have to basically jump up, jump over, like a lot of those sections with the fire, you have to hit switches to keep unlocking a higher floor. Yep. Those parts require some good dexterity.
Yes, they do require. They do definitely require some platforming prowess. They're not so bad though. They're not pull your hair out difficult, but
there really isn't anything in this game that difficult. Incredibly difficult.
Although I would have to argue one of the bosses, but he's not really difficult so much as he is freaking tedious.
Who?
I guess we'll go over bosses, but I'm not sure if we got all the powers. Shadow, do you think of any others?
Not off the top of my head. We got most of the major ones.
All right. Okay, as we've already explained, getting all the keys in each level unlocks the next level, and getting the gem fragments during the level will allow you access to the boss. There are 5 bosses in this game because there's only 5 actual areas. Our bosses, depending on which order you go, are what are they? They are Cat Bat, who's actually cool. Cractus, Cuckoo Condor, and
the plum thing.
Well, that's the tutorial boss. He doesn't really do anything.
Oh, I like that boss.
Except win games.
Oh yeah, Aerodent, the guy I hate.
Yeah.
All right, and these bosses are filled with gimmicks. Okay. The Cractus doesn't even start until you actually start attacking him. You can.
Yeah, it doesn't start until you break his pot.
Yeah, and these boss fights are definitely gimmicky, but they're not necessarily bad gimmicky.
No, not bad. I mean, some of them can be kind of annoying, but
I didn't actually really make any of the bosses because I'm so terrible at this game.
True.
It's okay, Burke. You too will one day complete this game eventually.
No, you won't. You know I won't.
It's not a hard game, really. It
Yeah,
takes
but
some
you-
getting used to, but it's not hard.
Yeah, I mean, I just some of the parts I just got hanged up on. I just couldn't do it, and I cried myself to sleep.
Yeah, but by defeating each of the 4 bosses, well, rather during the boss fights, you'll notice that there is a stone slab in the background with 3 treasure chests. If you manage to defeat each of the bosses before there's almost like 1 minute left on the timer, you'll receive all 3 of the treasure chests. After the 1 minute mark, however, the treasure chest will actually start to dissipate.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for this.
Is that now?
Depending on how many of the treasure chests you manage to actually, beat the boss with, this will affect the last boss, Gold Diva. Gold Diva is the longest boss fight in the game, only because, well, she's the most gimmicky. She's the most gimmicky of all of them, although she's most certainly not the most difficult. Personally, I'd have to say the most difficult is... I want to say that Cractus is really difficult, but in all
Cractus is
seriousness,
close.
he's not really that bad.
No, not really.
I had problems with them.
Well, yeah,
What does
Cractus
Cractus
is hard
do?
to hit. That's his issue.
So explain to us Cractus.
All right, Cractus is
Cactus.
the plant-themed boss. He is a giant Venus flytrap, a possessed one at that.
Ooh.
And he has the ability to jump high, attack you with
Make you a
with
zombie.
his petals, and make you into a zombie.
That sounds nice.
Yeah,
sounds
but
annoying.
the zombie form only actually happens about halfway through the fight when he starts drooling on you.
Yeah.
In order to defeat Cractus, what you got to do is jump up and ground pound on his head. That's his only weak spot, and doing it is a lot more difficult than it sounds because of his attack pattern and the fact that he can attack you from anywhere on the screen. Again, he's not so bad, but he's definitely one of the more annoying fights.
Is he now?
But Cractus, I think, is the let me think, Emerald Passage. I think Cractus is.
I think
Isn't he?
so.
All right. Let me think. The Ruby Passage is...
Full of rubies?
No,
Oh,
I forget
full of
what the Ruby
doubloons.
Passage's boss is.
Ruby's gonna rube?
It's the balloons. It's all about.
I know that Sapphire is Catbat.
Yep.
And Catbat is very interesting because unlike... you start off the stage and you've got like a full line. Right before the fight starts, though, Catbat blows up half of the platform. The reason for this is so that there's actually an environmental challenge here. Catbat will attack you by sending out these tidal waves, and although they don't actually hurt you, they will knock you into the water. And there is a small, shark bot in the water, and if he hits you, you take damage. Catbat's gimmick is that you have to hit him on the head in order to actually damage him. Well, first, of course, you have to hit the crow on top of his head, and then you have to hit his head flat with your ground pound. Again, not so difficult of a fight, but it can get annoying and tedious, especially after the first half where he loses the crow and he starts shooting the red dust spores at you, which they do damage, and the brown dust spores that he showed to you earlier inflate you. Seriously, these power-ups tend to be more debilitating in the boss fights than actual power-ups.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a shame. One thing we should discuss: graphics. What do you guys think?
It's a
of it?
nice looking game.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah,
nice.
actually, it's a very nice-looking game.
One thing that should be mentioned is that this game came out the same year that the Game Boy Advance did.
It?
2001.
Really?
It didn't come out in 2001. I don't think so.
I think it's 2002, personally, according to what I saw in the copyright.
No, it's 2001.
Really?
Oh,
Uh,
really? Well,
Yeah.
in Japan, yeah.
In North America, the Game Boy Advance came out in June 11, 2001. This game came out in North America in November 18, 2001.
Yup.
All right.
Which, for the first year of the console coming out, they probably didn't figure out all the nuances of the
Yeah.
system. but it's a very nice looking game. Also, one thing I want to notice, like the first thing I noticed when I started playing this game, it says brought to you by Mode 7.
This game actually got a 9.10 from IGN. Lol.
IGN.
IGN.
Well, it's not a bad game. It seriously
Yeah,
isn't.
it's a really good game.
Yeah, I like it.
It's fun to play through. The level designs are awesome, and the soundtrack again is very good. The boss fights, although gimmicky, are enjoyable to go through.
You're enjoyable to go through.
So, what do you guys think about the broken Mode 7?
There's almost no Mode 7 in here. Like, the only Mode 7 in here is during the transition between levels, which I wish you could skip.
See, but I mentioned that because like the first thing it says is brought to you by Mode 7, and then like the first thing that happens is Mode 7.
Yep.
Yeah, it might be the first thing that happens, but it doesn't actually affect the game at all.
No, it doesn't.
It's most
But
certainly a gimmick, but it's not necessarily, unwanted here.
are you implying it's unwanted, Gerdat?
In some cases, it's most certainly unwanted.
I don't know, Gerdat. I don't know.
Do you remember the Mode 7 sequences in FF6, Burke?
I do.
Yes.
Yeah, those were
I asked
unwanted
him
by
to put
most
it
of the
in
fan
something,
base.
I think most of the fan base was too busy jizzing over how good that game was.
Yeah, and when they stopped jizzing, they noticed that there was Mode 7 in it.
Yeah, and then like then I went back to jizzing about how good that game was.
Yeah, probably.
Eyes out, Gerdat. Cry your eyes out. Scrub.
5 is better than 6.
You're full of shit.
So, do we want to discuss any of the mini games?
Nope.
I do.
Nope.
Mainly because I actually bothered to play through all of them.
I played all 3 of them.
I don't
Alright.
play that.
Baseball one sucks.
Home run is like home run derby.
Home run.
Yeah, home run is almost completely luck based because the pitcher will do different things. It's almost impossible to tell which pitches the pitcher is going to do, so it's really difficult to actually time your swing.
I'm gonna be
Mind
completely
you-
honest. I'm actually very good at that game.
The baseball.
Well,
I'm awful.
Shadow,
I was awful.
You've got a lot more experience with this particular title than any of us do.
This is true.
Yeah. That was I was awful at it.
At one
And-
point, the balls actually start to become invisible.
That's nice.
Okay, that's just cheating. That is not fair. I need a target ridicule. Ugh.
Uh,
And
That's
Shadow goes through with a perfect 100 score. Screw you, man.
yeah, what's your problem, man? Always got
No, it's not a problem that he's good at the game. It's a problem that he's that good at the game.
well, you know, is my man Shadow. My man Shadow.
Anyway, Home Run Derby is... it's painful if you don't know what you're doing, even though it's just a simple button press. You would think it would be easy to figure out, and it mostly is, until, of course, they start changing up the pitches at you, and it becomes, no, thank you, I don't want to play you anymore.
Yeah.
And the third game, I'll get back to the second one in a moment, is, I'm pretty sure the slot reel, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's slot reel where you try. It shows you a face, and then you try and remake the face as these things spin. The game's fun and all, but the only problem I found is that sometimes you're at the right face and you press A, but for some reason the hitbox, I guess you would call it, for it is on the other face that just passed. So you get screwed, and it makes you use that face instead. But it only happens sometimes.
Are you saying that face?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I'm hearing shit then.
But yeah.
But, yeah, the slot one, I personally don't like.
Yeah, it's
I
not my
find that
favorite.
although you could easily abuse the game and get a lot of coins that way, I just don't care to memorize the bottom face. So, I suck at it.
I thought you guys were liking since you're all Pokemon fanboys.
And the second mini game is my personal favorite, and the only one that I'm actually good at is the rock and roll,
I love
whatever
that
the hell
game.
it is.
Yeah, it's my favorite as well.
Rock and roll.
The reason why I'm good at this one is because, it's just a simple, press button to jump over obstacles. Do not hit obstacles because then you lose instantly.
Yeah, those are usually really, really cool.
Yes, and it's also the easiest of the bunch in my opinion. Although I can't seem to get past 38 points because after 38 points it doubles the speed.
Yes,
although
it does get very fast.
although it doesn't actually double your jump distance. Why?
That's a shame.
I'm moving twice as fast now. I should have double jump distance.
There's the logical reason they did that, Gerdan. I'm sure.
Probably. I don't care what it is.
I think my personal best is actually 80.
My personal best is 150.
I don't
It
remember.
doesn't,
Shut
go
up,
to
Burke.
it doesn't go to 150, Burke.
Shut up, Burke.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have soiled the
But yeah,
goodwill of this podcast.
Mini games. I guess we should actually take a moment to explain a few of the side characters that show up in this game.
Side characters.
Yes, there are in fact a few side characters.
Side characters? What?
Yes, there are in fact a few side characters.
Yes, there are.
You have some splitting to do.
All right. The first and foremost
Shut
of
up, Bert.
which is the stupid professor.
That the stupid professor whose ability is it makes you misspeak.
Yes, that guy. Anyway, the stupid professor. I'm not sure if he's in the other Wario Land games. I assume he's at least in 2. But
Oh, you mean the guy? You mean the guy who? Wait, what does that guy even do? All he does is literally walk left and right. If
And
you
then
hit
you
him,
pick him up and throw him.
you pick him up, throw him, and then he might get up and he looks at his magnifying glass. And when the first time I saw him, like, what the hell is this guy doing?
yeah, he is the archaeologist that guided Wario here, and he's
Oh, okay.
technically Wario's sidekick.
Wait, so there's like more of he's just psych. Wait, are you getting this from just playing the game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's his sidekick. He's not a random archaeologist that was exploring the pyramid.
No, he's not just some random dude. He's actually related to Wario somehow.
Maybe that's his son.
No, it's not his son. He's too old.
Yeah. Mm.
Anyway, his main purpose is to help you through puzzles. How? Well,
By
Wario's
walking
a
left and
dude.
right.
No. Burke, seriously, his main purpose is to help you through puzzles.
Yeah, by walking left and right, and then you pick him up and throw him.
Yeah, Wario's a douche. You damage him, he gets flipped on his head, you pick him up, and then you throw him through stone.
Yeah,
I can't
Wario's not
imagine his
that.
medical expenses.
I don't know how this game is E for everyone. It's so violent.
Well, that's the thing. Wario's always a douchebag.
Well,
Yeah.
It's called Comical Mischief.
It's supposed to be comical, but take a step back from the comedy and realize just how painful it has to be to barrel through several different layers of rock.
maybe he enjoys it, Gerda.
Yeah, you don't know that.
We should take a minute.
After the
We should
concussion,
take
you
a
mean?
minute to discuss these puzzles.
Yes.
Shrunts.
Now, throughout the levels, you'll find these purple pipes. Purple pipes take you to a bonus area in which you'll usually find a large blue diamond worth 1,000 points.
Oh yeah. Oh God.
And these bonus areas usually involve you using this archaeologist in order to, break through rocks or, activate switches, etc., etc. They're almost always platforming puzzle challenges, and they're actually quite fun to do once you know what the hell you're supposed to be doing. A few of them are really well designed. For example, one of my favorite ones is actually in the pinball level. I end up going back to it a few times, where the archer. Well, I'm not sure if it's the pinball or the jungle level. I ended up having to do both of those multiple times.
Yeah.
But there's an enemy archer, and as you know, at this time, if you've gotten hit by the bow, after getting hit by the bow, you inflate. Well, in order to get this blue diamond, what you have to do is wait for the archer to shoot. Go to the archer and go into the water. Wait for the archer to shoot, and then charge after the arrow, but don't get hit by it until a very specific point.
Mm.
Once you actually get hit by it, then you can hopefully collect the blue diamond. If
Yep.
not, don't worry. Just don't kill the archer. Go back, and you can try it again. All these puzzles do not have a time limit, although every once in a while you'll break it enough to where you have to exit the tunnel and come back.
Mm-hmm.
They are very cool, and these are very cool side games, and I like that they're there. And a few of them actually have really good rewards. For example, heart containers. For some reason, Wario has the ability to extend his maximum life.
Yeah.
I really don't know why.
Why?
It's a good addition, mind you, but it's
Because Gerda, a certain other iconic character with a green hat is able to extend his life with heart containers.
Luigi can't extend his life.
Obviously, that's who I was talking about, Gerda.
Well,
Jordan,
What other
give me,
platformer?
give me
what
your,
other
give me, Jordan, give me your
platformer
Nintendo
had to
license.
know?
You're no longer allowed to be a Nintendo. Cut that fucker.
I believe he was talking about Link.
Yes.
Yes, we know he's
Thank-
talking about Link.
Except you, because you're terrible. Don't deserve to play these great games.
Yeah, some of these puzzles can actually get very difficult too.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, there's one. The thing about him is they're those all those very Nintendo puzzles where you're just sitting there saying, "How the hell do I do this?" And then when you figure out, you're like, "I am the
Oh,
biggest
face
idiot ever.
palm.
I'm the biggest idiot ever." Because they don't seem very. They don't at first. You just can't figure them out.
At first, they seem ridiculously
Yeah.
complicated, but then they're like, "Wait a minute, I have a dude here. I can use this dude, and oh my god, this is simple."
Yeah, exactly. Like I had one where it was the scientist guy. And I'm like, I can't figure this out for the life of me. And then I'm like, realize, oh wait, I forgot. I can pick this guy up and throw him above this wall that's blocking me.
That was another one of the puzzles that was rather cool. There's a puzzle where you have to throw the scientist up while in charge mode, and that way, if he hits this green switch while still in charge mode, it'll activate, allowing you to proceed. But if he hits a wall or if he gets slowed too much down by the water, then you have to exit the room and come back and try again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's most certainly a gimmicky puzzle, but it's not actually that bad.
Another little
No.
move, a little move that we didn't really mention, but we probably should have, is Wario has the ability to like crouch.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
And
Like it
and
looks
crouch
funny.
jumping, he can crouch jump. There are certain areas in the game where you have to crouch jump in order to proceed. I did not know this, so I got stuck on a level early on until Corb pointed it out to me. Thank you, Corb.
Wait, you know what it looks like when he crouches? And he looks like like when a dog like drags his ass on the ground.
Yeah,
It looks like
that.
It looks like Wario's dragging his ass
But-
all over the
But
ground.
yeah, like oftentimes in the puzzles, you'll have to use the crouch with Wario.
Use the crouch to get through.
No, you use the crouch to get through.
No, you.
Derp.
Anyway. Yeah. And that is what the crouch jump does. You get through with it.
You guys have any specific praises about the game?
I love the level design. I think the level design is great. Like,
I
that's the
definitely
first
gotta
thing.
agree with you on that.
Yeah,
how about
no,
you?
level design is pretty nice.
And even though and the thing about it is that I wish a lot of games would do this. Like even if the game is linear, I don't mind the illusion of choice. Like this game
Yeah,
might be
the
linear,
illusion
but
of choice is most definitely welcome here.
yeah, I mean, some people might not like it just because they feel like they're being tricked. But frankly, like even you won't really
If the game's still fun, I don't care. Trick me
Yeah.
all the hell you want.
See, the thing about it is video games are smoke and mirrors anyway, and if you're not going to play this game again, you probably won't ever notice that, oh, the perceived choice that I thought I had, I really didn't have. It just
Yeah.
seemed like I had it.
And there's a lot of hidden areas which can take you back to the beginning too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind you, I haven't actually found most of these, or even a lot of them, but
But, and this basically just it's extra swag, right? Like, the rubies,
Yeah.
or the, whatever the hell you want to call them,
extra coins,
the coins.
they is monies.
But yeah, one of the things you should do in this game is you should try to walk into walls as much as you can to see what's an open wall and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
what's open and what's
Like
not.
Super Castlevania 4.
Very much.
Or any Castlevania game for that matter.
Yeah. Really.
I think we're all tired.
No.
How about you, Cloud? You got any specific praises about the game?
Well, I mean, it looks really good.
It's a
The
fun
music is good. The Wario is entertaining to play as, I should say, and watch, like, move around the screen. I love the derp face in this game. There's a lot of derp face.
I like the fact that you're killing his sons.
Mm.
Overall,
How about any what?
overall, I think the game has a very unique feel to it. It's not like a
Yes,
lot
it
of other
definitely
games.
feels unique. It definitely does feel and look unique, but I have to say it's not nearly as unique as it's trying to be.
Yeah.
It's not, but it still has the feel when you play it.
I
Yes,
mean,
it has
the
the
thing about it,
illusion of being unique, which is awesome.
well, the thing about it is that it's a side scroller. I mean, there's only so much you can do, and there's the fact. Just the thing about it is that just the fact that you can look at a Wario game and say, oh, this is really unique. When your first opinion is, oh, it's fucking Mario with a yellow hat. That's probably the greatest praise you can give this game is that it's really innovative and unique.
Yeah. So it really isn't anything like a Mario game,
It's not.
which is
Or
good.
rather, it doesn't
It's
feel
really
like a
good.
Mario game. It most certainly is definitely a Mario game, but it doesn't feel like that.
It's
And I think that's the whole thing with, like,
it's like a mix between Mario and Kirby.
Kind of, yeah.
And that's the thing with all these offshoots of Mario, like Luigi, like none of them are really they all feel very like, oh, we have these other characters outside of Mario, but none of them really still feel like copies of Mario, and they'll do very shitty jobs at it for the most part. And it's like, hey, look at this Wario guy. Usually the games he's in, they're pretty good, especially this one on the Game Boy. I mean, a year release of the Game Boy, and you play this game, and you're thinking, hey, this is actually very, very cool.
Do you guys have any significant criticisms about this game?
Ghost that steal keys.
No, I
Okay.
really didn't have many problems with the game.
No.
I thought the game was very to the point, and there really wasn't anything that was bad about the game, really.
Yeah, there's nothing really bad here, but I definitely still have at least one big nitpick that I want to bring up. How about you, Cloud?
I have nothing really to add. No, there's nothing really stands out as bad about this game.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna get into it. I hate Aerodent. Now, Aerodent is the boss of the. Let me think. It's the Topaz. No, it's not. Is it Topaz? I think it's Topaz of the Topaz Passage. And Aerodent is a large teddy bear that is being controlled by a small mouse by inflating him. I'm all right with the goofiness of the boss design itself, but the problem I have with this boss is this is like one of the only cases where I actually have problems with the time limit and the downtime in between boss forms. In order to damage Aerodent, what you have to do is you have to jump on the enemy projectiles that he shoots at you, and then throw them into the base of the bear. This deflates him, bringing him down to your level, and then you have to charge attack the bear's feet. Then what you have to do, because this still doesn't damage him, this just flips him over. Then the mouse is actually dazed from this somehow, and you have about 10 seconds before you act. You have about 10 seconds where you can actually damage him. But if you hit the bear and not him at all, his ascent will actually go back. He will actually start ascending faster. So most of the time, I can usually only hit him once if I'm lucky twice before he's all the way back up. And the downtime between his next attack is a good 5 seconds. Now the timer is relatively generous with this specific boss fight, giving a grand total of 4 minutes. But with all the actual downtime in this, especially if you screw up a few of the cycles, the last time I beat this guy, I had 3 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah. Some of the bosses are kind of ridiculous. Not like
Mind
really,
you,
but
Aerodent only actually gains a debilitating attack about halfway through his life bar, and that's where he actually starts shooting fire off when he flips over, and he'll actually cause fire to go into Fire Wario, and you're not gonna hit him this time. You can't do it. You can't jump high enough to hit him while you're Fire Wario.
Right.
Oh, fine.
And it becomes even more tedious because if you get hit by this, the entire cycle starts all over, and you can't hit him during that time, and it's a good 20 seconds before you can actually start the cycle over. it definitely feels like Aerodent is just there to freaking troll me. Shadow has claimed that he is able to get all 3 treasure chests, and I have asked him I have started asking him tonight to actually make a video showing me. And if he does this, I'll make sure to link our viewers to it, because, my God, I want to see this. I want to see Aerodent beat with 3 treasures left on the plaque.
We have wait. We have viewers.
Yes, we have viewers.
A small amount, but we have
bullshit. I don't believe you. Where's the proof?
I also want to mention that we hadn't mentioned about this game is if you beat the game on easy. Yes, this is easy. There is also a hard and very hard mode.
Oh God.
Now we are noobs, so we didn't actually find this out until tonight. I haven't actually tried the hard or very hard mode yet, although I think you have to get all 15 treasures in order to get into it. Because I haven't actually seen a prompt allowing me to switch difficulty modes yet.
Yeah, I think you have to get all 16 if I remember right.
If you have to get all 15 treasures, then no, I'm not doing it. It's hard. Beating Aerodent to get all 3 treasures. That is just no. Ugh. And let me guess, all hard mode really does is increase the damaging enemy layout and shorten your boss timers.
Stuff like that, yeah.
You see, I can't agree with shortening the boss timer on Aerodent because it's just not fair.
Yeah.
I can barely beat him on the current boss timer, and I can hit him almost every time he comes down.
Well, to be fair, if you're playing on very hard, you're probably broken at this game anyway.
True.
So yeah, they wouldn't have that problem you do, because obviously you are a scrub.
I am noob.
And don't know what you're doing.
But in all seriousness, guys, this is a pretty good game. You should all go pick it up. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one.
As opposed to other shitty games we play.
Yes, Shadow Wolf typically picks out very good games.
Oh.
Yes, he does.
Yes,
he does.
He's
only picked out 2 games so far, but we're working on it.
Yeah. Speaking of which, who's supposed to be next to pick the game?
Cloud. Cloud is the guy that picks out the game next.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
I guess it's time for our overall and numeric reviews. Burke, you want to start?
Not really.
All right. How about you, Cloud?
I'll give this game a 10.
What?
Really?
What?
Yes.
What?
Only a few more minutes.
Reasons why?
Well, because there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with it, and it's a good game.
Do you work for IGN?
You shush.
How about you, Shadow?
If I could give this a score out of 10, I'd probably give it an 11 out of 10.
What?
Really?
Oh, God.
I really, really, really enjoy this game. Maybe I'm just
Wait,
biased.
what would you give it?
An 11
11 out of 10.
My turn?
Great, we have a better than sex review. Great.
My turn?
Yeah, go Corb.
I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I played this game a lot when it first came out, because I think I actually got it with my Game Boy Advance. My grandma got me... I got it from my brother from my grandma, my Game Boy Advance, and I got the Game Boy Advance in like 3 games, and this was one of them. So I've played this game since I was since I was a kid.
Another one was Mega Man Zero, a game that we're not doing right at the moment.
No, I'm gonna pick it. So yeah, 9 out of 10. It's really different, you know. It's a platformer, and it's kind of like a Mario game, but it's different.
It's very
which is
fun.
great. Yes.
How about you, Burke?
I mean, if we're really looking about what's wrong with the game, I'll probably give it a 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah, really.
Really, because there's really nothing wrong with it.
Wrong with it, yeah.
I mean, everything I will choose is nitpicky stuff.
So the controls are really tight. There's nothing really loose about it.
I mean, at first, one of the complaints I had was like the platforming. It seemed like right after you jumped on a platform, it seems like he will do almost like a double dash up to the second one and you miss the jump. But that was just me not knowing the controls at that point in time. Then I got better at it. But really, there's nothing really wrong with the game.
Yeah.
I mean,
As for me, I'm gonna give this game a 9 out of 10, mainly because although the things that I do have to complain about are in fact nitpicky, there's enough there to shy me away from a perfect score. I really did enjoy playing this game. It's a game that I might consider coming back to, but I'll probably stick with Kirby Superstar.
which you're still playing.
Yes, I'm still playing Kirby Superstar 10 years after getting it. Screw you all!
Anyway.
So there you go. This is one of the few games that we actually probably almost gave a perfect score from everyone.
Yeah.
Whoa, actually, one of us gave it a fucking 11 out of 10.
Yes.
Well, it was that good, I have to say.
I didn't realize.
In all seriousness, the game really does deserve that kind of praise. It's just that I've got a few nitpicks.
I don't know, 11 out of
and I
10.
suck.
But that's not the point.
So, who picks the game for next week?
I
Cloud does.
picked Skyrim.
It's me.
Skyrim.
Shut up, Bert.
But we want to thank our listeners for listening, and
We want to thank our listener,
Shut up, Bert.
listeners.
listener.
So, until next
Hi,
time,
Mark.
this is Shadow Wolf.
This is Royburger163.
This
Awkward
is
silence.
Cloud.
Gurdette.
Okay, this is Gurdette14 signing off.
And this is Bork163. And that's my Facebook.
Thank you, and until next time.
Never.